Welcome dear students. Today's class we are going to discuss shortly about the visa policy of India. It's actually a topic in the subject Constitution of India in the last chapter. Let's go to the subject content. And the informations I am going to discuss here are referred from the source wikipedia.org. And as an introduction, visa, verified international stay approval, virtual important stamp authorization, visitors international stay admission, variety of acronyms you can see in the internet. Place to place based on the article, the abbreviation may be changed. And generally the visa is nothing but an authorization document granted by a country or a territory to a foreigner to permit him to enter or stay or going out from that particular territory. It is actually a document issued in the form of stamp marked on the passport of the person or in the form of a paper document. Depending on the type of the country, the type or nature of the visa document may vary. And about the visa policy of India. Visa policy of India is a detailed guidance given for the reference to the foreigners who are all wish to visit or stay in India for their own purpose. So visitor to India must obtain the visa document from the Indian diplomatic mission unless they come from one of the visa exempt countries of India whose citizens may obtain visa on arrival or an e-visa online. So based on from which country the foreigner is coming from to visit India, the type of visa document which he needed to acquire is vary. So let's see one by one. First of all, we can see the visa policy map of India. So here the India is red marked as the Republic of India, and based on the color given to the country in this map, the type of visa the particular citizen needed to obtain may vary. So freedom of movement, e-visa, visa on arrival, restricted visa, these things are vary from country to country. First, freedom of movement. Freedom of movement is nothing but visa free. There is no need of acquiring visa. So the citizens of the following countries do not require visas or passports to enter or stay in India. They are actually the countries from Bhutan and Nepal. The citizens of these countries need not to get visa to enter India or leave India or stay in India for a long time. Even they are permitted to work in India for a long time also. Unless they are arriving from mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, Maldives or Pakistan. And overseas citizens of India are persons of Indian origin. Actually, foreign citizens who are all possessing an overseas citizenship of India registration certificate or persons of Indian origin card are need not to get visa for entering or staying in India. They can come to India without any visa, and they have the right of residence in India and are allowed unlimited entries also. And citizens of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, mainland of China, Nepal or Pakistan are not entitled to hold overseas Indian citizenship. And visa free entries. So from the March 1979, citizens of Maldives do not require visas to enter India for 90 days. If their staying time is exceeds 90 days, they have to process for further documents. And visa on arrival is nothing but the persons from Japan, South Korea or UAE are need not to take visa in advance. When they come into India, particularly to the airports of Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai or Bangalore and Hyderabad, after their arrival into the India, they need to take visa on arrival document as a visa. So the visa is issued for business, tourist, medical and conference categories and has a validity of 60 days and the cost is around 2000 rupees. The citizens should not have Pakistani origin or parents, grandparents, or great grandparents from Pakistan. For such persons, the visa on arrival is not permitted, even they are coming from different countries. The visa on arrival facility can be used for no more than 2 times in a calendar year. If they want to visit more than 2 times, they can go for e-visa formality. Otherwise, if they are wish to enter into India with the airports or seaport which are all mentioned above, other than the Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore or Hyderabad airports, they need to get e-visa with the particular formalities. And e-visa is nothing but the norms developed from 27 November 2014 under electronic travel authorization. This facility became operational for citizens of over 40 eligible countries, and recently some other countries also included in the scheme, and totally e-visa scheme is applicable for 113 countries from August 2015. This electronic travel authorization issued for tourism, visiting friends and family, short duration medical treatment and business visits. This scheme is further renamed with e-tourist visa and categorized into 3 different categories as e-tourist visa, e-business visa and e-medical visa. And the application for e-visa must be made at least 4 days in advance at the date of arrival. Otherwise, we can make it 120 days earlier at the date of arrival. The visa is valid for 1 year, and continuous stay during each visit on e-tourist visa must not exceed 90 days. If you got one e-tourist visa, you are permitted to stay for 90 days only, and then you need to go back to their originate country, and again they wish to come into India, they have to make one more fresh e-tourist visa for their next arrival. And except for the citizens of Canada, Japan, UK and United States, as well as all nationalities visiting on an e-business visa who can stay for 180 days. They need not to renew it with 90 days. The duration of stay cannot be extended more than 180 days. The e-visa fees are divided into 4 slabs: $0, $25, $80 and $100 based on the country from where the foreigner is coming from. And the detailed information regarding which country and which fees on e-visa will be collected from the web page source. And e-visa allows arrival at the following 28 airports and 5 seaports. If a foreigner with eligible country for applying e-visa need to enter only through the showed airports and seaports only, and exit is possible via any authorized immigration check post. And cost for visa applications. So the visa applications can be submitted in person or sent by post to an Indian consulate located in any country, and it can also be submitted to designated visa service provider in the certain countries. And the cost differ per consulate and region. In some places, the visa handling charges are little collected extra for checking and verification of the documents in some countries. And citizens of the following countries need not to pay visa fee when they are processing for Indian entry. That is the Argentina, Cook Islands, Fiji, Indonesia and so-called countries are need not to pay the visa fee for India. And restricted and protected area permits is nothing but a special permit for foreigners is required to enter the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and some parts of states of Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan and Uttarakhand. So from the for these areas, if a foreigner want to enter, they have to get a protected area permit in addition to their visa. A restricted area permit is required to enter Andaman and Nicobar Islands also, and these kind of permissions are not given for the country people who are all restricted to get the visa. And Pakistani passport holders and persons of Pakistani origin having some special policies on Indian visa policy, and persons who ever held Pakistani citizenship or who have a parent or spouse that held Pakistani citizenship are ineligible for India's new e-visa scheme, and so must apply to their local Indian mission for visas to enter India. And applicants who once held Pakistan citizenship require lengthy processing times, while foreign spouse and those of Pakistani origin who never held Pakistani citizenship typically experience shorter processing times only. And India also restricts Pakistani applicants with dual nationality from applying on their non-Pakistani passport document. And a visa on arrival for persons over 65 years of age, and from in the year 2013, Pakistani citizens over age of 65 are permitted to enter into India for 45 days in order to have sole objective of meeting friends or family through Atari Wagah checkpoint. And the formalities required for this somewhat lengthy. It's mentioned or showed in the screen. You can refer. And this scheme is not applied to those who wish to visit Punjab, Kerala and restricted areas of India, and who are and not applied to those who have ever been denied an Indian visa before. And these are all the short introduction about the visa policy of India. You can refer a lot of articles to get some detailed information. Thank you.